back to the news at 10. If you've just joined us, a quick reminder of our major stories now. The army raids Boko Haram hideouts in Sambisa forest, kills 5 suspected terrorists. The wait for assent to the 2016 budget continues. The federal government blames vandals for shortage in power generation across the country. And United States President Barack Obama rejects ground troops in resolving Syria's crisis. Do remember, you can find all our top stories at our website, is channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. And when you're done downloading, we do urge you to please interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, our iOS and Windows platforms. If you've got pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, simply tap on the Channels TV app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. And here are some photos you sent into our Eyewitness portal. We begin with this photo sent in from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. It shows motorists in this traffic jam waiting for long hours to get to the airport. Our Eyewitness reporter calls on the government to create an alternative route. And our next photo was sent in from Lugbe area, also in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. It shows an open fire close of cylinders with cooking gas. Our Eyewitness reporter describes this as dangerous and calls on relevant authorities to prevent a disaster. And this photo was sent in from Eforum Sapele Road in Delta State. It shows this overloaded bus with a burst tire. Our Eyewitness reporter advises transporters to adhere to traffic regulations. And our next photo was sent in from Egbeda area in Lagos State. It shows these young men sitting carelessly on this waste collecting truck. And finally is this photo sent in from Lagos as well, showing a bent electricity pole in Kaumu Street in Shangisha area. Our Eyewitness reporter calls on relevant authorities to try and fix it. We do sincerely thank you so much indeed for sending in those pictures, as we ask that you keep them coming. Moving on to other stories now. Government College Nasarawa is one of the foremost educational institutions in northern Nigeria with a long list of success, academics and otherwise. But today things appear to be different, as most of the infrastructure are beginning to give way. Reported by an Eyewitness photo sent to our Eyewitness portal, we decided to pay the school a visit and now present the report.
Attention is drawn here by this photo sent to our Eyewitness portal by Ahmed Abdullahi, showing the infrastructural decay at the Government College Kefi, Nasarawa State. The Premium College was established over 60 years ago, and it is one of the largest in the defunct northern Nigeria, sitting atop a huge landmass. The college was funded by the northern government before the creation of Benue and Plateau states, and has produced prominent Nigerians, including the late President Musa Yar'Adua, the Minister for Information, Lai Mohammed, and his sports counterpart, Solomon Dalong, to mention but a few. At present, the college is being funded by the Nasarawa state government and appears to now live on its past glory. Our visit here reveals the extent of neglect the school appears to have suffered, as structures built during the colonial era have been left abandoned. This place served as a dining hall, which was last used over 20 years ago.
Thank you for drawing the attention of...
Today it's more for dump site and toilet for some people. However, the school principal says plans are on the way to renovate the place.
It was a dining hall. It had been abandoned by now for more than 10 years because of the nature of the way it is. and the new one has been built. So because it was built, this one is abandoned.
Since the abandonment of that dining hall, action has since shifted to this hall, which is in no way better than the abandoned site. Here is Adeja House, one of the hostels burned by students about 20 years ago. An old student gives an account of the incident and calls on his fellow old students to collaborate with the state government to restore the lost glory of the school.
We're calling on the old boys to, as a matter of urgency, get themselves together as classmates, as individuals, whatever it is, to be able to come back and see what they can do to the college.
In the course of our visit here, we met with the state government team led by the Commissioner for Education on a familiarization tour. She confirms that the governor has taken note of the condition of the school and has declared a state of emergency in the education sector.
We are repositioning education, and definitely infrastructural development is one of those basic things that we are going to do in the educational sector.
Prior to this fact-finding mission, the state governor had visited, inspiring hopes that the school will feel its intervention.
I think the people in the South State will see gradual and consistent renovations of schools so that our children will be able to have conducive environment to be able to pursue the academic life.
As it stands, the intervention is yet to come. And the question is, should they continue to be expectant or wait for another Moses?
The fuel scarcity situation seems to be compounded by independent marketers across the country. This is because the monitoring exercise carried out by the DPR shows some service stations selling above the pump price in Lagos and Kano states, while holding seems to be the order in Benue. Our energy correspondent Olu Phillips, who has been tracking the fuel situation cross-country, now reports.
The drama never seemed to end. From across the states, week in, week out, the tale of finding petroleum products, the sharp practices by some operators, and DPR's mandate to enforce proper pricing with attendant sanctions for airing stations remain constant. DPR's zonal office in Lagos joins the fray to carry out a presidential directive. Just on one stretch of road around the Okafa Ejigbo Ikotu axis, close to 10 stations were sealed for varying malpractices. Some of the operators are so brazen in doing the wrong thing. This station is still selling despite being on the seal by DPR. The owner claims he is completely oblivious of the operations of the Department of Petroleum Resources, let alone knowing their office address.
For the record, number 5 to 4 Victoria Island, Lagos. That's where our office is. 140 per liter. 140 naira per liter. That's what
When some of the marketers are not hoarding, they are selling above regulated pump price. And there are also complaints of under-dispensing.
My boss is telling me that apart from selling above pump price, you are really under-dispensing. I'm not aware of it. But you can see it, that's why I call it about 1.5 extra.
Kano, in Nigeria's northwest region, had the highest number of apprehended defaulters. 25 stations were sealed for varying anomaly.
Any marketer found selling above pump price will be appropriately sanctioned. And the marketers will be aware that anybody selling product at odd hours of the day, odd hours of the night, or early hours of this thing is an illegal practice. And if they are apprehended, they will be sanctioned appropriately.
Still on the matter, the operations controller of the agency in Kwara State has been explaining why he's been out of circulation. While stories around town suggested he has been transferred for being compromised, he denies the allegation.
The truth is that civil servants, a letter brought me here. And as I speak to you, I am still the operations controller in charge of DPR Kwara State. I've not been transferred, I've not been redeployed, I'm still the operations controller.
Benue State is also in the news. This time, it borders on the challenges experienced in curbing the excesses of marketers. Seen from different song sheets perhaps explains the position of all actors in the challenged downstream oil sector. A symphony of harmony will definitely be experienced when supply clearly matches demand and maybe surpasses it. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, has been under intense heat from the public over the scarcity of petrol in the recent times. The Minister of State for Petroleum, Dr. Ibe Kachku, admits to several comments which almost put him into trouble over when supply of products will normalize. His latest comments are that by May, Nigeria will experience normal supply. How far has the NNPC gone in ensuring that the May deadline is not again shifted? Joining me on the news at 10 is the Executive Director Commercial of the NNPC, Mr. Justin Eziala. I want to thank you so much indeed for joining us on the news at 10. When do you suppose that Nigerians can easily drive into petrol stations without much delay and buy at the appropriate standard price of 86 naira and 50 kobo per litre?
Thank you so much for having me. First of all, I'd like to start by apologizing to Nigerians for the inconvenience they've had to experience over the last couple of days. It clearly breaks our hearts in NNPC to see Nigerians queuing up for fuel. The good news is that we have actually passed the issue of supply challenges. I can assure you that at the moment as I speak to you, NNPC has a plan to bring in a cargo of PMS every day to the country. As at Friday, we have received 24 cargoes, putting us way ahead of our plan to bring in a cargo a day. We are well ahead the plan to reach 39, 40 cargoes by the end of the month. If I put this into perspective, in January we brought in 21 cargoes and there was no scarcity. In February we brought in 22 cargoes and still there was no scarcity. In March we experienced a drop in supply, brought in 14 cargoes. But today is the 24th of April, and we have actually brought in more cargo than we've ever brought in since the first quarter. So surely our problem is not supply. Listening to the last report from your correspondent, you will notice that what we are battling is the issue of people who are hoarding and diverting these products. NNPC has had to engage the services of the civil defense to escort trucks from Lagos loading points to the filling stations. We've engaged them in Abuja. It's mind-boggling that we bring in these cargoes for the generality of Nigerians and then some people decide to hoard it. And most people have put the blame on transporters, marketers, but at the end of the day, it is our duty to find out where this is coming from, and we've put everything on the table. At the moment, we publish all loadings depots so that we're as transparent as possible. We encourage the state governors to know which trucks are coming to their stations. We also ask people to actually go around and tell us who is doing what. You know, engage social media. People can visit neighborhood stations and tell us which marketers are selling in the middle of the night, which ones are selling above price. And as the last reporter said, DPR has actually started public enforcement. We hope that with this show of force by NNPC and the government, marketers who are hoarding, who are diverting, will stop the practice forthwith.
Now, we also understand that the refineries will come back fully on stream by the year 2019, so says this government. How sure are we that this date will not exceed 2019?
Well, we are hopeful that those targets will be met. I'm sure you know that Port Harcourt refinery is currently operating. We are getting approximately 5-6 million liters daily from the refinery, which is exceptional for now because it helps us take care of the locals there around Port Harcourt, Bayelsa areas. Warri refinery also is back on stream, producing approximately 34 million liters a day. Kaduna is taking on crude now, and in the next week or thereabouts, we expect that it will be producing, and that will also take the pressure off trucking supplies to Kano, Kaduna, because they can be serviced from there. I'm aware that public investment, private people have been asked to invest in the refineries, and according to the last update by the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum, he did announce that some IOCs have expressed the intention to invest in those refineries because these are national assets, put them back to full operations, train most of our people on how to maintain them, and then hand them over. So we are quite excited about the 2019 deadline, and we think it will be met without question.
I want to thank you so much indeed for talking to us on the News at 10, Executive Director Commercial, Mr. Justin Eziala, for talking to us on the News at 10. When the News at 10 returns, on Art Review tonight, we examine Coming Home, an exhibition of paintings and installations by Victor Epoch. Join us again.